welcome. You guys will notice that I am not in the standard location on my couch in my living room. Of course, we're at the Uncanny Media Network home base.
What's up, guys?
So it's me, it's Rob. We're both here together for a combined episode, but not together in weird ways like that. But yeah, so I had kind of a tough choice on what to pick for today because funds were kind of limited and there wasn't a lot of variety and stuff I hadn't had before. So what we're going to do is we're going to make up something. We're going to make up our own little uncanny cocktail here.
Where did I? Oh, I was like, I don't know where I put that.
So what we're going to start off with.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Uncanny himself. I'm here.
We're going to start off with Powers Gold Label Irish Whiskey.
Is that going to fix itself?
Mm.
Is that going to fix itself?
What do you mean?
And when it airs, will that show it backwards on the camera? Because it showed it backwards.
Yeah, it did show it backwards. It's mirrored.
Let's see if we can fix it. See, my show is amazing.
No, it says mirror my camera.
There we go.
Sorry for that.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, mine is usually already. I don't have mine set for mirrors ever. So, but yeah, Powers Gold Label Irish Whiskey. Now this is 20 after tax. It was like 29 some here in Ohio. So it's Ohio prices. Okay, so not too pricey.
But that's not indicative of prices in your area.
Yes.
So remember that.
Yeah, remember. I always mention what the price is here, but your prices may vary. It's got a nice cork on it. Nice smell to it. Nice and bright and cheerful.
Oh, yeah. It smells like I'm going to have a hangover tomorrow.
That's Irish whiskey for you.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to put that there for a moment. I'm going to put that there to make sure I throw it away. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix that.
Yes, we are. With what I picked up today. Yingling Hershey's Chocolate Porter.
Ooh.
Now, we have both had these before. I don't know if we reviewed these in an episode together. I know we did.
I feel like we did.
Did we?
Or at least I've reviewed them sometime after the fact. I don't know. I know. I'm pretty sure we have. But this is actually technically kind of local.
Yeah.
Because Yingling is from Pennsylvania. And Hershey's is from Pennsylvania. Because the Hershey Chocolate Factory is in Pennsylvania. It's not the factory that recently exploded in Pennsylvania. Not to make any sort of jokes or anything, because there was a chocolate factory that did that, and it's, tragic situation. But this isn't that. So, and you had the idea for how to do this.
Yes, I did. So get us our shot glasses. We're gonna do 2 tastings here, because I've never had the Powers outside of yes. Of course, we got to represent. If you guys missed it last week, I did an interview with Andrew Smith, the Flatwoods Monster Museum. So do not miss it
on the This Uncanny Earth official YouTube channel. Okay,
go check it out. All right. So what we're gonna do is first I want to taste the whiskey because I never had this. This is gonna be something new for me. So I want to try it, and I'm gonna have him pour me a shot, and I'm gonna give you my review. You want to do a shot with me, or what do you want to do?
Might as well.
All right, get yourself ready to go.
No reason not to.
Ooh, boy. It's body shaking.
Now, this is, I believe, 80 proof, so not too flashy. Put that down for a second so I can close this up.
And what shelf would you say? That's about mid-shelf?
Yeah, this is mid-shelf. It comes in a glass bottle all the time. There's a few different kinds of Powers vintages, expressions that you can get. And they recently just made an Irish rye whiskey that I'm looking forward to. Probably a little bit more than he is, but
you guys know me.
I'm interested. We haven't seen it in my local grocery stores yet, but
cheers. See what it tastes like. I don't like the back end.
Yeah, it's a solid burn. It's a very solid burn at the end.
It's not a horrible burn. Oh, there it is. There's that first individual shake.
It's a very stereotypical Irish whiskey, I think, but not like a Jameson.
It's very gasoline heavy on the back end.
You get a lot of fume.
Yeah,
that's all up. I don't usually do shots of this one. I usually do it as a bit of a sipper. and so I don't notice the back end quite so much.
Ooh.
And as of this video, I'm at the very tail end of my cold. I know this is going to be far in the future, like after my cold is long gone, but as of when we're recording this, because you guys know I do these way ahead of time now.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of like a sinking and dinking kind of thing. We're going to get our Hershey's Porter chocolate style bake. We're going to pop with this pop tab I got, even though I think it's just twist. Pop that one off there. I'm going to have our host here pour us some more powers in our glasses. Oh, man, that's not going down great.
Now that brings up a good point too that I might do in a future video is the difference between a shot whiskey and a sipper whiskey.
That'd be a good idea.
Because there's some things that are great as shots, excellent as shots where you can just down them like nobody's business. Bullet bourbon is decent as a shot whiskey. But some things more like this is more of a sipper.
Oh, look at that. There's little like flex.
Residuals.
Yeah.
That was one of the problems before it got to bottling. Like they couldn't get that stuff out. And they said afterwards when they finally got it available that it's got
not bad.
It's going to have that in there.
Pour yourself some. There you go. There is yours. It's different. I drink a little bit of it because we got to drop the shot glass in it.
I was going to ask you.
That's what we're doing.
I'll put that down there for now. Do a refresher taste on this.
Which I did. Just did.
So,
it was good. Still a little bitter,
mm-hmm.
but it's chocolate. So chocolate's going to be a little bit bitter.
And the way that they did this in a way where they were going for a more classic chocolate taste rather than a super sweet, like not like a milk chocolate or anything like
right.
that. It's more of, since it's Hershey's, they probably used more of their dark chocolate candy
or a
bars.
baker's chocolate.
Yeah, something like that. It's not super sweet. It's
Nope.
not the most dramatic chocolate I've ever had. The chocolate volcano, as you guys may have seen in a recent video, was the chocolatiest.
It's been having too many of these chocolatiest.
The chocolatiest chocolate beer I've ever had. That was good. I mean, I've had beers that have been chocolatier but were bad. Like it was too much, like too sweet. But this was the best balance that I've ever had so far in that kind.
Ready to do this thing?
Now I'm predicting a mess, honestly.
All right, you ready? Drop it in.
Decent.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think
Not
they
bad.
mix really well.
I do too. I think they mix really well.
It was a bit much, a bit overwhelming to try to do the whole glass like you did for me. But still, not bad.
The back end of the powers is still pretty prevalent, though. Still pretty prevalent.
Yeah, it's going to come through there. But I think the addition of the Hershey's Porter helps mask that enough that overall it's a pretty good experience. I don't know if I want to. It's really heavy.
Yes.
So I don't know if I want to have like another couple of these this way afterwards.
Right.
But I could see it again because Powers is more of a sipping whiskey, in my opinion. I think you could do like a black and tan with these and sip on it slow and enjoy it.
Do you do rating systems on this thing?
I think I started, but I don't think I kept up with it, and now I don't remember how I used to do the rating. I know with the cheap shot challenge, it's either whether it passes or fails. This doesn't count for the cheap shot challenge because the Powers is more than $20. In order to qualify for that, it has to be less than $20, bought at least full proof, more or less, and be under $20.
So what do you think? What are you thinking? Is this something you would order if you went out to an establishment and they were like, "We got the Powers and Yingling Hershey style
Powers of chocolate."
Powers of chocolate. What do you think?
I could have one while I was out and about, but it is very heavy.
Very heavy.
It is very heavy. If I was going to have it, I wouldn't have it like the shot way they were doing it. I would have it more as like a black and tan, which of
Or
course
you
is,
could even have it to the side.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, sip on a little back and forth, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, they do mix pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential.
I'm not a fan of the Powers, though. I got to be honest. The Powers whiskey, if I had to go out like out of a 5, I would probably go a straight 1. I don't like it.
Well, like I said, I mean, I see him more as a sipper than a shot, and I always add a smidge of water to kind of cut back on that back end a little bit.
I think ice
But,
would do that justice.
Yeah, ice
Yeah.
might help.
100%.
And yeah, I think it's decent for the money, but it's not the best at that price point.
No.
I think the Rowan Co., if you're trying to stay in that price area, is probably the best Irish whiskey I've had in that area.
What was the price point of this?
This was 26, maybe.
Where does the
Rowan Co., I believe, is also 24, 26, something like that.
Where does the proper 12? What is the price point on the proper 12?
Proper 12 is around that same price too.
I would have to go proper 12. I was because I like the proper 12.
Yeah.
I like the back end of the vanilla that mixes well with the whiskey. Because like when you do the proper 12, the back end you get the vanilla taste. You don't get whatever that is, and it tastes like gasoline to me.
The difference I have in the proper 12 versus the Rowan Co. is the flavor. I think the flavor of the Rowan Co. tastes like salted caramel.
Right.
And so that gives it, for the same price, it gives it a little bit of a boost. But I do like the proper 12. Because if you're trying to get an affordable Irish whiskey that tastes like a classic Irish whiskey, you can't go wrong with the proper 12.
No, not at all. I agree.
If you're trying to branch out a little bit into something that tastes slightly different but still has some of the character of an Irish whiskey, that's where I would go with the Rowan Co. or a sipper like the Powers.
And if you really want to go all the way to a zone you've never been in, get the Sextants. Sextants isn't horrible. It's funny that I bring this up because the night we had the Sextant, right, and this is going to air after the fact, the night we had the Sextant is the night we interviewed Cherry Break. We had an Irish whiskey today, and we interviewed Cherry Break today. You not today, but like today. You guys have already seen that episode when this episode airs.
Yeah.
But you guys should definitely rewatch it because it was a fantastic interview, and we're really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. I want to thank Craig for bringing me on. Thank you, sir. This is fantastic, fantastic taste. Also, if you guys, it's already been out, but not yet. You see, this is the thing. We see the future. We actually reviewed some chips. Uncanny Eats. We did a cuttlefish snack chip, which my co-host was very, very just not my thing. No, he did not. And we also did a fantastic taro chip review right here, which my co-host actually. Not going to give away the logistics of that bad boy. And finally, my co-host is lactose intolerant. I didn't know that when I got this, but we had some bubble tea made by NOT, and it was a brown sugar blend. Which, did my co-host like it or not? You're not going to know unless you watch Uncanny Eats. Also, don't forget about the show, This Uncanny Earth, where it all started. You know, we can't forget our roots. We can't forget our home. So, you know, once again, thank you for the Powers. Thank you for the episode. I did not like the Powers. If I had to rate the Powers, it had to be 1 out of 5 because I do not like the back end. And the back end to me is everything. That's what stays. You know, that's what stays.
And that's mostly what your problem is with Kentucky bourbons as well.
Yes.
Because that burn at the very end kind of overwhelms everything. And there are a lot of Kentucky bourbons that do that.
Yes.
I've had a few on the channel here. And my favorite Kentucky bourbons are the ones where there's a flavor that takes the place of all of that. Like there is a burn, but the flavor takes the forefront. In the near future, I'm going to bring over the Calumet Farms, because that was the best bourbon I think that I've ever had, because it's not the flavor or the taste of it that gets me. It gets in my head and it takes me somewhere. It is such, like, if you haven't watched my review of it yet, check it out. It was a huge, a great experience. And it was either the video right before this one or 2 videos before. It was very recent. Calumet Farms. Yeah. But that was a $150 bottle versus
$26
bottle. So
yeah.
you're going to get some differences.
I think for me, the thing that took me most to that level was either the Yamazaki 12 years, the Douce $250 bottle, or the misunderstood ginger whiskey, which I absolutely love. I love it. It's if you guys know me, I rant and rave about it all the time. I love it. It's a good blend of ginger. It really gets you right here if you have a sickness.
And maybe we can convince him to do a video of his own for the Spirits Club of the misunderstood.
Which I would do it. Yeah, listen, maybe I'll do a couple. Some stuff I like that he's not a big fan of. Like he's not a big fan of the IPAs. I'm not a big fan either, but there has been there's been a couple actually that have really made me appreciate an IPA. Even though I don't like IPA, like you won't catch me going out anywhere and being like, get an IPA. But if there's a chance that I might like it, I'll usually try it. I tried, I think it was Jersey Devil IPA down in West Virginia. It was fantastic, but I only had one. I didn't have a bunch. I only had one because they're a little heavier too. And the Elysian Fields with the cat eyes that are shooting lasers, solid one. And the Hazy IPA by Leinenkugels wasn't too bad. Leinenkugels is probably the premier beer company for me. It's my favorite beer company. I've had all of their beers. They even made a beer. It's just beer. Wasn't anything else. Have you had that?
No, I haven't had. The only thing I've had from Leinenkugels is their line of shandies and their fruit flavored stuff. I haven't had anything outside of that area.
And you're not a big fan?
Not usually. I mean, I don't like fruit beers so much. I don't like flavored beers in general. I do like occasionally like the chocolate porters and things and the chocolate stouts and the Sweet Baby Java and that kind of stuff that we saw today. But I'm not generally a big fan of flavored beers. I want to have a good beer that tastes like a good beer.
Like a Rolling Rock.
Yeah, Rolling Rock is about as light as I go usually.
Do you like Hoegaarden?
I have not had it.
Hoegaarden isn't bad.
I've not had it.
I believe that one's a traditional German beer. So if you like, I like the flavored beers, but I also like a good beer. Leinenkugels made it was a beer. It was like, think of your dad getting off work when he was 18, getting a beer. That is what that beer tasted like to me. It reminded me of my dad getting a beer, and then that's what they would drink. It's just beer. There wasn't, back when they were young, there wasn't any flavorings. They weren't like, yo, let me get the peach cobbler flavored ale. The biggest flavoring wave that happened was when people started putting limes in the Corona.
Yeah.
That's the original flavored beer. And I liked it that way. I still like a good Corona with a lime or a lemon in it. Now, I'll tell you something else if you had this. Next time, we'll do a video for this. We're going to get a lime and a lemon and a 12 Rolling Rock, and I'm going to put it because it changes the game for me with the Rolling Rock. Because I like Rolling Rock. It's a good, if you ever want a good beer that's a light beer, but it isn't a light beer, Rolling Rock is the way to go. Because you can drink, I could drink a six-pack to myself.
We have had a lot of Rolling Rocks in the past.
Yes, we have.
We've gone through a lot of Rolling Rocks.
It is a good standby. If I'm in the mood for a beer, like you said, Rolling Rock is always my go-to. If I'm like, hey, I'd like a beer, but I want to drink. I want to have, maybe 5 or 6 beers, right? You can't do that with a lot of these craft beers because, first of all, they're like $30 for 2, right? I'm kidding when I say this, but that 6-pack we saw today, or that 4-pack, whatever, 6-pack, it was cans. There were cans like this big, $17.99.
Yeah, which is pricey here in Ohio as far as that kind of stuff goes. I mean, you might be from a place where it's like, oh, well, that's not that bad, but here. And I'm not generally I'm a stout porter kind of snob as far as my beers go.
He is.
I would rather have Guinness and things that are like Guinness most of the time.
He likes a meal in a bottle.
That's it.
Meal in a bottle.
And Rolling Rock hits a different kind of spot. So
it's light, but it's not a light beer. You still get the full flavored beer taste without the light taste, which is and it's a light beer. Like I said, Rolling Rock is great for a hot summer day when you're doing some grilling with Chiboas, right? Future episode of Uncanny Eats. But I like Rolling Rock. Like, we would buy 12s. We would buy a 12 of Rock and a 12 of Shandies. And let me tell you guys, we went ham.
We had some times.
Helper.
We had some times.
Many of you know us that are our friends on the old Facebook. You have seen our old grilling pictures where we had some
we had
grills.
Some times.
Yeah, we did have some times. Great times. But we're having good times now. We're having some drinks. We're gonna probably play some games here in a second for our respective channels and do our thing. But once again, thank you, sir. I appreciated the time. It was a great time. It's always a great time here on the Uncanny Spirits Club. And, as always, I don't know why I put host. Don't worry about that. Like, I'm not trying. Listen, for those of you that are going to ask, I'm not trying to take over the show.
Oh, no.
All right?
On a more serious note, we're going to see, like I said, he's going to do some more guest spots on here probably in the future. And if we get into the eats, I might do some guest videos for that as well. So who knows? I might pick out some weird, strange things at the store and say, well, what does this taste like? Let's find out together.
Yeah.
And you can watch me be like,
maybe get some shoe strumming or some lutefisk.
Gefilte fish.
Whatchamacallit cheese? Limburger.
My dad had Limburger once. I remember it. It was kind of gross.
But listen, it's gonna be all types of food. It won't just be like we're not gonna be like
it's not gonna be all challenges.
It's not gonna be gross foods all the time, 24/7, 7 days a week type stuff. But we're gonna have some different foods. We're also might even go on the road and go out. I know he was thinking of doing pub food versus tavern food.
Bar food versus pub food, because pub food is a little different from what you think from bar food. Bar food is usually all fried stuff, but pub food is sometimes whole meals. Like you get steaks and things like that. What's better? What's better while you're drinking? Because while you're drinking makes a difference. If you're drinking beers, like just pound them down, you want different kinds of food. And which is better to actually help absorb that alcohol and keep you head on straight? And what's just good for a good taste?
All that and more. But anyways, guys, let him finish up. It's his show.
Thanks for being here. Keep an eye out for the next video. And until next time, of course, cheers.